Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo.
Don't come, oh, yo, yo. Hello there. You're welcome to Maiyegun's Diary Politico tonight. And from wherever you are joining me from, this is Maiyegun Live. And this is more or less like an update on what we have been following. I have a lot to share with you tonight. And I also have some clips to share with you as well. I decided to highlight the broadcast tonight. If you have taken your time to read the caption of the broadcast, you can make your own contribution accordingly. And like we've always been saying, we are not in any support or in any agreement with any violence of any kind in resolving issue. But reporting the violence being unleashed on our people does not automatically make us people who are asking for violence. We want people to defend themselves, and this is why. The news that came out of Nigeria today, especially from Ondo State, right? I'm going to try and bring something on your screen. I'm trying this today. I've not tried that in a while, and I hope it does the job. So, right, the news from Ondo today was that the Herdsmen clashed with Amotekun. Okay. They clashed with Amotekun and they killed 2 Amotekun Corp members. All the news in Nigeria, locally and internationally, carried that news that happened in Yoruba land. Amotekun that we all celebrated are coming to defend and protect us from this, from these unwelcomed killers in our midst, and the thief and their people, the elite, the Fulani elite, who have been accused of those buying the guns for them. They are also telling us that they have rights to live in any part of Nigeria, which is in contention now, okay, especially in Yoruba land. I also have these updates as well from Ibadan, where we also received the report of a DPO shooting down an Amotekun Corp member because he was accused of arresting a Fulani herdsman that would give him the authority to arrest others in your state. So at the end of the day, so I'm trying to share this with you. I hope it works. So this is the news from Ondo. Okay. So at least 2 people died on Thursday in a clash between the operatives of Ondo State Security Network, known as Amotekun, and armed others. That's the news from Ondo State. Amotekun fighting with armed others, okay, in Yoruba land. And the incident, premium times length, occurred at Agor Sanusi along Hotel Road in Owo, headquarters of our local government area of the state, right? That is in Ondo State today. And I picked up a video that I want to share with you. And in the process of sharing that, I'm also going to share with you the update given by Professor Wole Soyinka, how he's so unhappy that Nigeria police came out to say his house was not invaded. Professor Wole Soyinka was really upset, and you will hear from him today. He stated it, yes, his house was invaded by Fulani herdsmen, armed herdsmen, and it wasn't a cow, 2 or 3. And when he decided to apprehend them, they ran away and left their cows. It was Professor Wole Soyinka who phoned the police after they brought the whole situation under control. And the police in Ogun State came out to say, no, there wasn't anything like that. There's culpability between the police in Nigeria and these armed terrorists in Nigeria. And you get to know more why and why it's likely not going to change or stop. And I'm going to take you to other news from other parts of Yoruba land that borders on the increasing insecurity in Yoruba land. So let's do this first. Let's listen to one of their governors. Before we even listen to one of their governors, right? They were talking about security, right? Lifeless Buhari said those who were bringing in radio equipment to Nigeria, they were more dangerous. They are more dangerous than those who are armed to thief, killing people, kidnapping them for ransom, and even government paying tax, right? So here we are, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, who happened to be, he was the same guy who said a Fulani man can live anywhere in Nigeria, and there is no crime in that. He's just released a new statement, and he said a Fulani man deserves to hold his gun. He needs his AK-47 to protect himself. To protect themselves. And the question is, protect themselves from who? To protect themselves and their cows from farmers who are going to stop them from grazing on their farms, right? This is what the governor had to say. So for some of you who may not really know that, this is a systemic, planned criminal invasion of territories in Yoruba land. They are really, really sanctioned. It's a big sanction. It is an agenda sanctioned by the powerful among them who have the power to control them, build ranches for them, rather than harming them and to continue to cause this havoc. This is what the Bauchi State government says. Listen.
I will tell you something that I told my colleagues about the herders and farmers clashes in Nigeria. You have seen what our colleagues in the southwest are doing, and some of them from the southeast. Some of us told them with all modesty and humility, you are wrong. But the person that is most wrong is the governor of Benue State, my brother and my colleague, Governor Otto. He started all this. If you don't accommodate other tribes, we are also accommodating your tribes in Bauchi and other places. We have so many people working in farming in Alkaleri, farming in Tafawa Balewa, farming in Bogoro. Has anybody told them to go? We have not, because it's their own inalienable right to be there. We have Yoruba people in Bauchi for over 150 years, even before the birth of Nigeria. Nobody has talking to them. Some of them have risen to become permanent secretaries in Gombe, in Bauchi, and in Borno. And now, because a Fulani man is practicing the tradition of transhumance, pastoralism, he has been exposed to the vagaries of the forest, the animals, and now the cattle rustlers who carry guns, kill him and take away his commonwealth, that is the cows. He had no option but to carry AK-47 because the society and the government are not protecting him. What is his fault? It's the fault of the government and the people. You don't criminalize all of them because in every tribe there are criminals. If cybercrime is being practiced mostly by one tribe, you don't criminalize the whole tribe that they are criminals. We should be very sensitive. I'm happy with what the chairman has said. We have to be careful. And you as journalists, you must exercise restraint. You must decipher from wrong and right. Something that is so bad, that can divide us, that can threaten our unity, our hegemony. You don't do it. I must thank our chairman of the Northern Governors Forum at this occasion, because we are talking of the use of media to promote peace and unity in Nigeria. I think he is a hero in that field. Governor Lalong, with his diverse background, with his minority background, he is leading the northern governors with focus, with a lot of sense. You, the media, you must make sure you single out such heroes for promotion, not those people that will speak from Ekiti or from Ondo, that Fulanis should leave their forests. Nobody owns any forest. The forest is owned by Nigeria. Under Section 23, 24, 25 of the Constitution, every Nigerian is free to stay anywhere. And let me tell you, nobody had the freedom of matriculations or speaking anyhow. Anybody can speak anyhow, but we are exercising restraint.
Hear that? So we can talk from morning to night, Monday to Sunday, January to December. Yeah? They have their clear-cut intention. They have no intention in reining in all these guys who are armed because they gave them the guns. And according to them, right, everyone asking those armed criminals to go, they are those who want to disturb the peace and unity of Nigeria, not those who are wielding guns, shooting down people on their farms, destroying their farms. And now the farmers have no power. They are saying that you either accept it, or you are calling for this unity of Nigeria. How can invading people's properties? The land, there is nothing like Nigeria land. That is where they are making mistake. Some of them are talking about Nigeria land, Nigeria land. There's no Nigeria land. Do you get that now? There are landowners. All these indigenous lands have indigenous people who own them. That they are part of Nigeria now doesn't give their land or make their land Nigeria land. As much as they have been trying to change the whole narrative and the rest of that for years, people are still attached to their ancestral land as Africans. Do you get that now? So how can any African who possibly have his own family land in Bauchi, he's not talking about how to reallocate the land among those who need land in Bauchi as a Bauchi state governor. But he is suggesting that the rest of the country, if they want peace, they are threatening us, right? They are telling us that we should stop complaining. They have friends who agree with them, but they don't have many friends, okay? So, in fact, for you to really know that Nigeria is a lost cause, I have this a bit of a cracker for you before I take you to what Professor Wole Soyinka said about the invasion of his property. I want you to listen to that in detail. The credit of that video goes to the Arise News Television. They have the credit to it. But Professor Wole Soyinka, who said something in that video, will make us share that in this broadcast today. But before then, it is not just the governor. Listen to another, maybe senator, maybe rep. They were talking about the economy of Nigeria, and the ban on cryptocurrencies in Nigeria. And this is what that senator had to say.
Cryptocurrency has become a worldwide transaction, of which you cannot even identify who owns what, and is being protected by an app or software blockchain. The technology is so strong that I don't see how, even if we regulate it, I don't know the kind of regulation that we can do. Because another very important thing that we should know is that Bitcoin has made our currency almost useless or valueless.
Did you hear that? Bitcoin has destroyed Naira. They are now blaming Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the devaluation of Naira. That is the mentality of those who are making laws for Nigeria, those who are discussing Nigeria problems there. And that is why they will always be associating every problem with tribe, politics, religion, when they should take the problem head on. I mean, there is an insecurity issue. Some people who are unlicensed are carrying guns. We don't know their identity. The government is not interested in figuring out their identity. They are telling us that those who are killing us are those who are from the foreign country that invaded Nigeria. How can people invade your country and you are so comfortable? Politicians, lawmakers, opinion holders, and they cannot come together and say, let us fish out all these criminals who are killing our people. But instead of that, they are telling us to be careful of what we say so that we don't cause disunity. If you see a Fulani man, they are even justifying their carrying guns. All of you are sleeping. Some of you are sleeping. I will use that one. Some of you are still sleeping about what is going on in Nigeria. I laid my hand on so many things today, and I hope I actually am able to share some of them with you. Okay? Miyegun General. Do you know that Miyegun General is now a construction company too? Miyegun General is negotiator for terrorists and government. Miyegun General is also providing security like vigilante across Nigeria. Miyegun General is also a construction company in Abuja now. So they are fully loaded. That some of you don't have a clue of what is going on. But let's go to Abeokuta. In fact, let's go to Lagos, where Professor Wole Soyinka gave detail of what happened that fateful day when his house was invaded. I want you to listen to this. It is about of a stretch. But if you have the time, relax and listen to this. I'll take it up from there. Okay? Watch this.
And shortly we'll be joining with the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka. But before that, some stories. The Ogun State Police Command Wednesday put a lie into a trending online video suggesting that the Kempta Estate Abeokuta home of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka had been besieged by Fulani herdsmen. The rumored invasion had caused panic in the state capital Wednesday. Joining us now from the Freedom Park in Lagos is Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. Good to have you, Professor.
You're welcome. Glad to be back.
Yes, we understand you were meant to have a press conference, but we're glad to be ahead of the curve, so to speak. Good to have you again.
Well,
yeah, so I'd like to hear it from the horse's mouth since we have you. Can you clarify for us what exactly happened? There seem to be various, versions of what happened. We hear that the cows strayed into your compound, or we hear that cows were lost, and then the pack strayed into your compound. We hear you were attacked. So help us clarify what actually happened on Tuesday.
yes, I've been reading some of these versions. Some are quite amusing. Others are quite distressful, especially the version being peddled by the police. I think the police need to be educated that when people talk about the invasion of a home, they're not talking just about a physical building They're talking about home as home, which includes the grounds. No cattle people attacked me. That is a fact. I'm here physically, and I didn't suffer any injury. That never happened. But my home was invaded by cattle. Why should the police go to such lengths as to suggest that I had nothing better to do than to go accosting cattle on the road? What's my business with cattle on the road? We drove them out of my property together with my groundsmen. In fact, they began the expulsion process. I then happened to be driving out, so I joined them in my vehicle. My groundsmen are used to the drill because this is not the first time it's happened. So I joined them in my vehicle in herding the cattle out of my premises. After that, once they were out of my property, that's when I arrested the cows. Why did I arrest them? On exiting my property, just outside my gate, I beckoned to the herder, the herdsman. I said, "Come over here. Haven't I given you a warning before?" He turned around and then proceeded walking along. So I walked towards him, and the next time he leapt into the bush and disappeared, and his other assistant had also disappeared. So we were left with the cattle. And so I penned in the cattle by the roadside, called one of my groundsmen to stand there with me, and we kept the cattle there while I sent for the police to come and take over. That is a very simple, ordinary, commonsensical proceeding. Why should the police find it necessary to suggest that these people, these cattle and the herdsmen, were never in my property? I mean, what kind of nonsense? It's a distraction from more serious issues. I hate to be personally at the center of issues like this. I'm more concerned with what's happening to students in Ondo who are being waylaid by herdsmen, being kidnapped. I'm more concerned with my people in Ogun State who are being butchered, even while the governor is setting up a commission of inquiry. So please, I wish to beg the police, don't make a big issue out of this. Don't lie. Then I don't need to come here and address anyone.
All right, Prof, I gathered that the owner of the cattle and the herders is a Yoruba man. I am wondering, have you had, of course you said you've instructed them never to get into your grounds. Have you had a one-on-one discussion with the owner to make sure that this thing never occurs again, or even before that incident when you warned them never to do that again?
The first thing, I'm very glad you mentioned this issue of the owner being a Yoruba. It's very critical. In fact, you'll notice that very rarely do I use the word Fulani. It's unfortunate that this particular, any kind of crime has to be linked to any section of this community, ethnic community. It's something nobody's comfortable with. But unfortunately, the Meiti Allah, so their spokespeople, were the ones who identified and claimed this crime. I know exactly what they did, and claimed this crime virtually as their own. This killing of farmers, etc., they did. And so the whole nation followed suit. Now, the owner, I've never met him before, but I have arrested on my property herdsmen before. I sat them on the ground, took photographs of them, and I said, I'm circulating this all over. And anytime you're seen around this premises, something more serious will happen to you. So it's not the first time. And I've spoken to the Bale, the police were involved, and I said, serve notice to these people. This is a green zone. This is my private home. They should not come here and drive a motorway, a cattleway to my property. If it happens again, there will be serious consequences.
Okay.
So
all right.
This thing.
Hate to interrupt your flow of thoughts, Professor Soyinka, but we have to go on a quick break and we'll be right back to talk with you some more.
Yes, that is the first part of the detailed interview granted the Arise News Television by Professor Wole Soyinka. Okay, so the bottom line there is that his home was invaded. Okay, and the police was trying to hide that from their own release. Okay, so if you now read the news that police shot and they shot Amotekun Corp member for what do you call it, for arresting Fulani terrorists in Ibadan, just to let you know that. And you see people saying, oh, let us watch what we say. Let us be careful. Don't say it out. And don't cause ethnic this. You can see that Professor Wole Soyinka, being an elder statesman himself, an elderly man, is being careful as well, cautious of how he's going to present that, until he said, but when Miyegun claimed responsibility for all this nonsense, all this crime being committed, no effort to tame these criminals or stop them. Therefore, it is better for us to let the world know the criminals that were perpetrated. So if you see any Yoruba man or a Yoruba woman jumping up and down on behalf of this whole crime to hide it away or to blackmail you into silence, remember, we have them among us. They dress like us. They speak the same language like us. But guess what? They don't care what happened to us, except what we care about ourselves. So the part I wanted to share with you is this: the news from Ibadan. DPO shoots Amotekun operative for arresting Fulani herdsmen who destroy farms. Okay, this is the news from Ibadan today, with names, place, time, and those involved. Okay, the divisional police officer in charge of Ile-Igbon Division, Surulere local government area of Ogbomoso in Oyo State, Adepoju Ayodeji, on Friday shot an operative of Amotekun for arresting Fulani herdsmen who allegedly destroyed a cassava farm. The Amotekun commandant in the state, Colonel Olayanju Olayinka, retired, who confirmed this to reporters in Ibadan on Friday, said the police boss shot the victim at close range, right? So the news writer was from Sahara Reporters. Yes, policemen shot Amotekun Corp member. In Ondo State, they killed 2 burnt vehicles that belong to Ondo State government. And then, at the end of the day, you would never see any of them arrested, prosecuted, or jailed for this crime. And that is why when people say we want to be safe, the government is saying, no, it's not that bad. Do you get that now? So therefore, people will resort into self-help for this reason. Watch the concluding part of Professor Wole Soyinka's interview about what happened to him. I want you to watch this because some of what I've been telling you, some of them will sound somehow like comical, some will sound like unbelievable. But it's better you listen to people who have been involved, people who have been affected, and they are still alive to tell the story. There are many, many people that are going through this right now in Yoruba land. There is no help coming. That's the point I'm trying to make, except if you help yourself. And that's the fear of civil war that the elite seems to be so scared about. Watch the second part before we go.
You encroach on other people's rights, even to the extent of displacing them, humiliating them, dehumanizing them, raping their women, and killing them. That's when it becomes a crime against humanity and must be dealt with very firmly. But even in dealing with it, we must always take care to separate the wheat, the chaff, from the grain from the chaff. That's what I want to say. The grain from the chaff. We all know, we all live with, we all have Fulani friends, colleagues, and it's our responsibility to continue to stress that it's not the entire people called Fulani who are guilty of these crimes, but the leadership of Miyetti Allah, I've said again and again, is 90% responsible for the condition in which we find ourselves. He shares that responsibility, of course, with the head of state. But by coming out, and I'm going back a few years ago, when the leadership was so boastful, after hundreds had been killed in the north, by clearly identify herdsmen, to say that we Fulani, we own this place. We own this Borno area. We just come here to claim our own. That was when the problem of stereotyping came. And we've got to make leaders like that swallow, take back their words, apologize to the nation, and even be subjected to some form of restitution to the whole nation. Not the kind of restitution, cockeyed, upside-down restitution being proposed by this Gumi who says, I just read the report yesterday, that these herdsmen, these bandits should be compensated. What kind of rubbish is that? No, we're saying those who've offended this nation must begin the process by apologizing and even offering some kind of restitution to persuade the rest of us that they want to come back into the community of equal beings, entitled to the same privileges, responsible for their own lives, in fact, accepting their own responsibilities, accepting responsibilities for their kind, obeying the laws, the Constitution. That's the only way towards peace.
Oh, okay, Professor. Just want to straddle a bit between what my colleague just said. It would seem that what happened to you is evidence of how combustible the nation is at the moment. We had a group threatening that if anything had happened to you, that President Buhari would be the last president of Nigeria. So in the light of that, and a recent interview you did suggested that we were on the verge of a civil war if the matter wasn't addressed properly. So in the light of that, and maybe considering what Shiguni has suggested, which you seem to have dismissed, do you not think that there is room for a carrot and stick approach rather than a one shoe fits all?
We are in a situation of stick and carrot. In other words, those who offend must be punished. They must be held culpable for their activities. On the other hand, those who have been violated, those who have been offended, must be persuaded that these are reformed people. In other words, demonstrably so, not simply talk, simply saying, oh yes, we're okay now. No, there are certain crimes already committed which have got to be dealt with. Now, I've said this before, and I wish to repeat this. Buhari does not appreciate the situation. He doesn't understand. I see no evidence that he understands how grave the situation is. I've said again and again that I don't believe he's in charge, because it's not possible, in my view, for a head of state, a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, to say he's presiding over a nation and things get to this level. Something is critically wrong in the leadership, within the leadership of this nation. And that is where we civilians must come in. We must pick up the slack for our own situation, our own salvation. And this is one of the things we're engaged in. And that's why I resent this becoming individualized. Wole Soyinka is just another individual, just like another farmer, another student. And I want the people to understand this. What happened to me with this incident is just typical of what's happening to millions of people all over the country. And we cannot just sit still and say we're relying on central help when obviously it's not coming.
Well, Professor, of course, you and I know what happened in Ondo State recently, where the Mayor Tiala, the initiation of the presidency, got together with another governors of other states in this country, and they held a meeting which was, one would say, quite beneficial and rewarding. On the back of that, the governors of the North, in the North, have come out saying that they support ranching, that open grazing cannot be sustained. What's your sense of that statement?
It's late, but it's good. Better late than never. This is a commonsensical approach. Ranching. You want to ranch? Even my property which is being invaded, if you say you want to ranch, is your property available? We'll sit down together, negotiate. You fence it, you're responsible if you allow your cow to go and destroy other people. But I can rent out my land. It's business you want to do, so come and talk to me. So I congratulate the governors for waking up at long last and admitting this very simple, commonsensical approach to modern ranching. And I wish to appeal also, this is one of the things which can be done at the center, we should simultaneously now try and resurrect all those coaches, what are the wagons. You know, I grew up with cattle wagons on the train. I grew up with lorries taking cattle from north to south, east to west, etc. We need to resurrect all those facilities. But in the meantime, don't say that because the facilities have been allowed to go into the decrepitude, therefore you have to kill people to prove a point. But simultaneously, as I said, we've also got to put in the infrastructure to enable those who want to pursue this trade to be able to do so meaningfully and practically. That's the best we can do. In the meantime, however, we've got to sensitize the nation, and this is what I'm involved in. I will be proposing one or two measures to involve the entire nation as kind of symbolic gesture of solidarity with all those who have lost their lives because of this cockeyed, this skewed approach to business, and also to summon all governments at the center, the states, local government, and civic organizations to rally around and create a permanent solution to this dilemma.
Thank you, Professor. You know, whenever the conversation begins to get to national days, that is the normal Nigerianness kicking in there. And I don't think we need that. However, the solution that they are looking for is not far-fetched. It's just that the solution is unacceptable to these criminals and their sponsors. And they are already fighting back. Okay? So I told you 2 days ago that you are going to be hearing news like this more and more every day now, because it is obvious that whatever deal they had with the political class in Yoruba land, it's a bit of a shock to some of them that this is happening now, because they never expected this to happen, I believe, because it's like they never had a plan B. The plan was just for them to intimidate us, unleash this violence, then we will react, then our governors will tame us, and everything will go on like that. The same way the northern leaders, religious leaders, political leaders have managed to force their people to accept these barbaric killings, as if to say it is acceptable to be violently killed, destroyed, while the government pay the killers. You live in the IDP camp. We are Yoruba people. I don't think they have an idea that we will never want to live like that. Live with our killers. I have a few stories here I'm going to share with you as well about the experiences of our people, especially in Ogun State. I am from Ogun State. Ogun State is not safe, but the governor of Ogun State is going to tell you that Ogun State is safe. But are Ogun people safe in Ogun State? Are the Oyo people safe in Oyo State? Are the people of Ondo State safe in Ondo State? The question is, the answer is no. But the governor will not say that. Meanwhile, they are powerless. They have been, now that they managed to raise an army of vigilantes in the name of in the name of Amotekun. Now Amotekun has been coming under attack, both media and Fulani attacks. This is 2021. This is the year they plan to unleash the violence. Okay, they will attack all the prominent people, and we are saying, if you are a Fulani elite, you love Nigeria, don't stop telling us not to say this, not to talk about those who are killing our people. We want you to show that resolve, that you are also helping to arrest those who are killing our people, rather than try to force the hand of every security agent in Yoruba land to work with the Fulani terrorists, like what happened in Oyo State. What happened in Ondo State? What is happening in so many other parts of Yoruba land? What happened in Ogun State, where soldiers were beating up farmers for rejecting Fulani herdsmen from grazing on their farms? All these things will result to us helping ourselves. And elite, Fulani elite, Yorubas are not saying that all your Fulanis should leave who have a legitimate business, but you are going to push us to that. It is going to end up as that. Because what you are telling us is that we don't have any right to complain, and at the same time, you want to tell us how we should complain. In this regard, you are telling us at the same time that those who are found with guns killing and raping our women, yes, they might have committed those crimes, but they have every right to carry the gun to protect themselves. And we are asking you, protect themselves from who? You came to Yoruba land with guns, and you are now asking for protection from who? That's the question every Yoruba should be asking. And I hope as a Yoruba man or woman, as you are watching this, you will be asking that question in your mind right now. Why can't Yoruba farmers also have their own guns to protect them from the Fulani who have right to carry guns? Okay, look at this rider. It's a week ago. A detailed report with video evidence as well. But I want to read some of these personal stories of people who have been victims. How herdsmen turn Ogun villages to war zones, raping, killing, destroying farms, farmers flogged by soldiers for rejecting others. Nigerian soldiers will beat up farmers. It doesn't matter if the farmer is a Yoruba man or if the farmer is an Igbo man. If they try, sorry, somebody is complaining about the audio. I hope your audio is better. Check it. You can, you can leave your, you can come out of the video, okay, and go back in again. The audio is perfect. I have one here. So my audio is pretty fine. I believe you should do same. Come out of the broadcast and go back in. And meanwhile, some of you have been practicing social distancing with my like button, right? Can you just give that a thumb up? Not by typing the thumb up. Get out of that chat room now, right? And just a second, just in and out of the thing. Come out of the chat room. Go into that under the video. You see it under the video you're watching. There is a like button there. Tap it, and go back into the chat room and continue your conversation. I'm going to read this back to you, okay? After that, I will tell you a bit about what they are planning to do in Lagos tomorrow. And if you ask me, I can easily ask. I can easily ask every young person who wants to go to Lekki Tollgate tomorrow, right? If you are going to appear in Lekki Tollgate to protest to occupy Lekki Tollgate, okay? Make sure you are there with enough protective gears, okay? Don't go there with just your hang on. Let me say this boldly so that you can see my face. I'm not going to discourage you from going, okay? Those who wants to go to Lekki Tollgate tomorrow, they should go, okay? But don't just go there. They are coming. They are already there with their soldiers and their military, their police with their guns as usual, ready to kill. Don't go to Lekki Tollgate tomorrow or any other time if you are not going with protective gears. Protect your head, protect your chest, protect yourself to some extent, and go peacefully, not violently. They are the people that are going to bring violence, right? Not you. What happened at Lekki Tollgate that they are trying to cover up? I'm going to come to that, okay? But quickly, let me read these stories about the ongoings of the atrocities, more atrocities of these killers in Yoruba land. Yorubas want peace. We've always had peace, but you cannot force us to take violence as part of us, okay? So, please, if you don't have any protective gear, my brothers and sisters, if you see my video, you don't have to go there tomorrow, okay? The point is made. And with these criminals in charge, they will kill more and they will damn the consequences. And I don't think, okay, I don't think you should go there without protecting yourselves. Please protect yourselves. Now let's read this from Punch Report. I'm going to read word for word. You can follow me through. I'm not that good in reading on my voice. I don't even know how that sounds to you, but I just want to read it right now. So that for those and that, to have this on record as well. 55-year-old Kudoro Gabriel was visibly sad and troubled, narrating the pathetic experience with others who severed his fingers with a machete. The farmer who lives at Ibeku village, Ketuland in the Yewa North local government area of Ogun State, said he had been rendered useless after the attack. So Kudoro said, the Fulani herdsmen destroyed my barn where I stored corn. Getting to the place, I saw cows eating crops in the barn. I called on the herder who owns them, but instead of checking what the cows did, he rushed at me with a machete. If not that I used my hand to stop the machete before it severed my fingers, it would have cut off my head. As you can see, what can I use this hand for? Nothing. It's hard to use this hand to work, to feed my family. It's my wife who is taking care of things now. On the loss suffered, on the unhappy father said, well, what I want is for the government to assist me to provide for my family and myself. Imagine a Yoruba man who was providing for himself on his farm, right? Got attacked simply because he challenged a violent herder who was destroying his barn where he stored his food. Do you get that now? That's one of the stories. Now let's go to another one among these, yeah? One sec. So all these villages where the people are having these experiences, yeah? We have them, they include Eselu, Kodera, Asha, Okosho, Moro, Isikun, Sheke Aje, Igboire, Kole, Oguba, Ajetoro, Adeshino, Ibeku, Agbon Ojudu, among others, where people are experiencing this. I'm going to share the story of a man, a 30-year-old man, Faleti Ibija, narrated how some soldiers flogged him and some other villagers for refusing herdsmen on their farms to feed their cows. He said, and quote, I insisted that killer herdsmen must leave our land for peace to reign. As I said that, a soldier in a vehicle that brought him and his colleagues to our community asked me to move close to him. I did. And he asked me what I said. I repeated it. He stretched forward and slapped me thrice. He used his boot to kick me, and I fell down. He cocked his gun and threatened to shoot me. Here's the story of another man. 49-year-old chief imam of Ibeku, Maruf Fadebi, said he was almost whisked away by the soldiers for cautioning them against brutalizing his people. That was the chief imam, okay? He, however, blamed past and present administration, possibly he's a politician too. Anytime government officials visited our communities, they only made promises. We are suffering, and you can see the state of our roads. The past administrations promised to rehabilitate the roads, but nothing was done. The present administration has been making promises too. It promised to provide us with good roads, electricity, water, and so on. We vote during elections too. That is about other problem they have there, yeah? Apart from security. Another man, a 40-year-old Samuel Ilo from Agbon Ojudu, said his younger brother and child were killed by killer herdsmen. He said his younger brother, Benjamin Ilo, aged 39, and son, Shegun Ilo, aged 10, were killed 7 years ago on their farm while cutting grasses. We want the government to help us to end herdsmen attack. We are farmers, but herdsmen who invade our lands have made things tough. Have made their things tough for us. Now, here is another man, 35-year-old Olautan Adelano. is, from his own statement, narrated that on February 20, 2018, that was about 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, came to meet them on their farm. Fulani Herdsmen came to meet them on their farm to solicit water to drink and returned twice later to make the same request and turned violent. Abilano said, there is a river close to our farm, but it is a bit deep. The water is not drinkable, and we often fetch water from home to the farm. It was the water that we gave them to drink. They took water the second time, and returned with cows the third time. They chased us away. I wasn't even aware at first of what was happening until I fell down after a machete landed on me. It was those around that helped me. The brutality of Herdsmen against the villagers dated back to 2000. Government should come to our rescue. To eat has been a problem for me. It's those around that support me. I sold my property to treat myself, and my health is not strong again. We don't want killer Herdsmen on our lands again. We don't want them again in Yewa land. We don't want them in Ogun State. We don't want them in Ketu land or Agbon Ojudu again. They have killed many people in the communities. Here is another story which I'm going to drop before I go to the next conversation. Gabriel also said on December 19, 2020, last year, some Herdsmen and soldiers came to our communities. The soldiers said they wanted the Herdsmen to bring their cows and live together with us in Ibeku. And we rejected, saying it's not possible. This is because each time they come, their cows destroy our crops and they rape our women. One of the Fulani named Ali pointed at 4 of us that the soldiers should beat us because we rejected them. And according to him, they bring cows to our communities because our farms have crops, which they usually feed their cows. They care only about feeding their cows with crops, which we labored to grow. This is the situation. The story is the same everywhere. When you meet, I have this other one, by the way. This one said, and it is in fact the story of, you see, it's on and on and on and on. We have seen videos. This is why Sunday Igboho went to Ketuland in Ogun State to go and send a warning signal to these terrorizing criminals. But after that, they went back to kill about 4 people after Sunday Igboho's visit. This is what Yoruba people are facing. If you begin to collate all the information and see the numbers of people who have become victims, the government from all sides have ignored and abandoned them, okay? So they have nobody to report to. They want to resort to self-help, but they can't use that too. The soldiers will beat them, arrest them, and blame them. However, that is why Yorubas continue to say, let us rally round. Those who want to kill us believe that we can't fight back. We can't defend ourselves. And even if we believe that some people are going to defend us, they are going to spread the fear. Now, imagine when they begin to kill Amotekun, burning their properties. How is that different from Boko Haram or bandits attacking Nigerian soldiers, burning down their properties as you see them in Borno, Yobe, and all these places? Now, we're going to be witnessing Fulani Herdsmen burning down Amotekun vehicles. Is that actually going to help the Yoruba leaders to know the danger they are actually in? And like Professor Wole Soyinka said, since Buhari is not in charge, nobody is in charge. Are you going to be left alone to die on your own when you are waiting for the government to help you? This is what will take me to Lagos, where you have those who are asking to defend Lagos. Watch my video on who should they defend Lagos from? From the criminals who have turned Lagos into what? Or from yourselves who are encouraging them, the Baba Sokwe's and all of that? Who should we save Lagos from? So yesterday it was Obalende, where they were shooting themselves. Nobody was arrested. but people were killed. NURTW claimed responsibility for that. They said they were fighting over turf. No, they were not. They were practicing for what they want to do tomorrow. I told you, the Lagos NSAS panel, NSAS, judicial panel that they set up in Lagos State was a fraud. Some people said, Maiyegun, don't say that. Let us give the government have told them that they should go back home. They are going to look into all of you who said that 3 months ago. How are you today? All the judicial panel they set up everywhere, they have now become the ghost of themselves. Nobody is listening to anybody's case anymore. Some of those who are members of the panel have pulled out. They have decided to go and reopen Lekki Tollgate. There's going to be a cover-up. Those who died during the protests have died for nothing. Those who have become victims of police brutality in Nigeria, which prompted the judicial panel in the first place, they have suffered for nothing. The suffering continues. Now, people are saying, no, we are not going to accept that. We're going to go to Lekki Tollgate tomorrow. But guess what? Somewhere in Nigeria, this happened. And if you don't have an idea how dangerous this is, I'm just trying to remind you, don't go to Lekki Tollgate tomorrow without protecting or guiding yourself. Don't go there. Don't go there without wearing protection, please. Watch.
Nigeria fait du bon bail.
It is not so clear of a message, yeah? But that was Aja. Aja is very close to your Lekki Abi. So tomorrow, for those who have been around Lekki today, they said they are policemen, they are soldiers, they are everywhere. The only thing they are there for is to kill you and deny it again. Bala Mohammed has issued a statement that never again would they let that happen. Please don't go to Lekki tomorrow if you don't have a protection or protective gear. Like protect your head, wear face mask, wear this gas mask, protect yourselves like the Hong Kong protesters did. Don't go there tomorrow and let them use you for a shooting range. Please, I am pleading. I can't say you should go because in a democracy, protest is your right. But now you don't have any government. You don't have anybody protecting you. And when they kill you, there's nowhere to seek justice. Everywhere is ruined. Don't go there tomorrow if you don't have any protection in place. They are not going to protect you. Although Lagos State government said when you are going there tomorrow, because they want to go ahead and open the place, they have started the renovation. They concluded the renovation tonight. Tomorrow they are going to open it. They are losing money. They want money. Okay. And if you want to go there tomorrow, they said you shouldn't disturb those who are traveling, like blocking the road. Meanwhile, the reason why people want to occupy the toll gate is that you should not open it. You should not open it. Okay. You should not open it for trade and sell tickets to anybody. Okay. Until people who were killed and the judicial panel set up, which is also probing the Lekki shooting, Lekki killing. They are probing it, but the Nigerian army has withdrawn. They've withdrawn from the panel. The youth representative at the panel, she's withdrawn from the panel as well because she said it is just a spectacle, something like a showmanship to make everybody think the government want to do something. To all of you who said, Maiyegun, stop it, let us give the government chance. Now you have given them chance. 3 months after that, the whole thing is closing, cover up. No justice. Nobody goes to jail. Even our people who raised the alarm about the SARS in Anambra. This, what is that place again? Remind me. This SARS in Anambra, where Okafor, their police officer, is it Okafor or Nsofo or whatever? They have a police officer that was that ran away, the one that killed so many people in SARS, Akuzu SARS. You remember that? Now that guy is going to go back as a police officer. No justice. So all of that simply means that if you want to go out tomorrow, don't think the word is going to come to your head. The only time these guys are going to be punished for all their crime is that Nwafo, God bless you, James Nwafo. Emeka Nweke, thank you very much, my brother. Yes, I wanted to remember him. Okuzu SARS. Remember, the guy now, The story is dying down. That he's not been arrested. He's never facing any trial. We were told that the governor of Anambra State sent him away. He suspended him and all of that. At the end of the day, the guy, nobody has arrested him. He's never going to face trial. Those who shot and killed people that prompted them as a panel in Lagos, they are never going to stand trial. It is just all showmanship. Showmanship. Do you get that now? So if you are offended and you know you want to exercise your right, it is your right. Although in Nigeria, they have told you that protesting is like terrorism. So they will treat you as terrorists. Please, I don't enjoy reporting people being killed by these murderers in Nigeria, okay? But I don't also have any control on how you exercise your right. I'm only going to advise, please don't go out there without any protective gear, please, okay? For your own sake. Because look at the people that are coming here tomorrow. For those of you who are saying we should give government time, we should not resort into helping ourselves. We should wait for the government to protect us. Are you talking about the Nigerian police and the Nigerian military? I think I have some professional ones that you are actually waiting for. Maybe when they come to save you, tell us about it. I'm going to be rounding up now. I saw your message. You wanted to phone in tonight to contribute. You know what? I have been working all day. I just have to drop this before I go to bed, okay? I'm going to have more time next time where you can phone in and we can have our chat as usual, okay? But before I go, to those who are waiting for police protection and condemning those who are trying to protect themselves, are these the guys you are waiting for?
1, 2, 3, start. In this kind, see, let me judge. Let me judge it. Let me judge it. In this kind of this tripling, disappointment come the first. Then let's. So why?
Let's go for the assembly.
Okay, let's go for the assembly so that we can know who is who pass who. Who is who? Let us see who is who. So 1, 2, 3, start.
Nigerian police now.
And the Nigerian army.
Nigerian police on their.
That's the guy you are waiting to come and protect you, I think if that's the person that you are expecting Bukwari to send to protect you, trust me, you will be long dead before he managed to put together his gun as well, okay? This is why I'm going to draw the curtains, okay, tonight. I'm going to see you again tomorrow, okay? Make it a date with me. And before you go, remember, subscribe onto Maiyegun's Diary, okay? Before you go. That means you won't miss anything when next I'm on. And when you subscribe, check before you go if your notification is set on. Some of you don't know that. After you subscribe, you have to set notification. Do that. That means you will get to know 1 hour before Maiyegun goes live every time. Do that before you leave and give me that number under the video if you enjoy your time with me tonight. Until I see you again. I wanted to say something earlier about Miyeti Allah having a construction company in Nigeria. So I just thought you should hear that. So that if they say, Maiyegun bring proof, that's my proof. They are now major contractors to the federal government of Nigeria, Miyeti Allah. And their, and their office is currently at shop A9 Block 2, Uze Old Market in Abuja. Okay? For any of you who wants to be awarding contractor to Miyeti Allah on any construction and all of that. For now, they will be working on construction of primary healthcare center, okay, somewhere in Ebonyi State. Ogun, Eda, Afikpo South, Ebonyi State. The location is going to be Unguzu, Eda, Afripo South Ebonyi State, and the contractors will be Miyetiala, NCC Limited, Shop A9, Block 2, Wuse Old Market. I just thought you should learn about that. For those of you who are going to become partners in Yoruba land right now, apart from in Igbo land, Miyetiala is in a relationship with their governors, and their governors have cut deals with them enough that they are stable and protected until the emergence of ESN to destroy the whole arrangement. In Yoruba land, they also managed to cajole and threaten our governors in Akure to agree to give them a slot to become our protectors in Yoruba land. So they are now, they volunteer to start their vigilante organizations in Yoruba land. And while they are planning to start vigilante organization, they are also into construction anyway. For those of you who want to build houses or build offices, Miyetiala is into that. So their Fulani terrorists can continue to burn down our vehicles, burn down Amotekun vehicles and kill Amotekun. At least Miyetiala is making money, not just from Buhari. They are making money from Igbo governors. They are making money from Yoruba governors. Now, are we going to let them make money from our own Yoruba sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters, that they always want to kidnap for money? Because it is all about money, isn't it? And if you reject that, you get killed. Are we going to allow that? It's up to you to decide that. Until I see you again, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, subscribe onto Maiyegun General if you don't want to miss anything. Until then, stay safe and good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Kíkó nìna kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.